Hey friends, welcome to the Bailey Grind. My name is Bailey. I haven't been here for a while because, well, I've got a lot going on. I am focusing a lot of energy on these mythology, history, spiritual, religion courses that I'm creating. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but if you like Joseph Campbell, you're gonna like the courses that I'm creating. And I'm starting with Celtic and Norse, blah, blah, blah. I'm also moving to a different city next month, and I have to plan and do my garden before I move in. And it's just, I also have a new job. It's all over the place. I'm all over the place. So I haven't been here. It's fine. We're not here for that right now. We're not here for all of that explanation. Today, I wanted to talk about Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel. In Indiana, we say mantle. We just get rid of like any fluff. It's just mantle. I'm gonna try and say Mantel. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. Anyways, I'm choosing to talk about Wolf Hall right now because in the US, this month, the second installment of the series and the final installment is coming out, or is being released. If you all are in England or the UK, you've already seen it. You've already probably, said your opinion on it. We haven't seen it here. I'm super excited. I will say that I read the novel and didn't finish it. So I got about 65% of the way through, and I have really strong feelings about it. So strong that I wrote a Substack article about my strong feelings. And not only that, I'm going to read my Substack article to you because I still have such strong feelings about it. Now, they're not super negative, strong feelings. Like, if you're a big Wolf Hall fan, please stick around for the whole video so you hear me out, because you might be pleasantly surprised. Spoiler alert. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. I am reading from my Substack article, so if you see me looking down a little bit, that's why. I got a couple of comments saying that they enjoyed when I read my Substack articles aloud, or out loud, which I also enjoy because I've already written them, so I already have that energy. I've already created something and I don't have to recreate something. You know how it is if you create. Okay, so Wolf Hall fans are akin to Beyonce's fans, aka the Bay Hive, in that once you criticize the book by Hilary Mantel, my neighbor really needs a job. Can you hear that? Once you criticize the book by Hilary Mantel even a little, even if it is a founded criticism, you're swarmed to death. I'm a glutton for punishment, however, so I will sacrifice myself for the cause. To begin with, Wolf Hall is extremely pretentious in the way that lovers of the novel will tell you that you just don't get it, even if you did. In fact, you got it, you just disliked it. You know the type. Mantel's writing style is inaccessible and seems to aspire to become a classic, pivoting society as we know it, but it falls short. She also assumes you were either taught Tudor history in school or that you were awake for your tests. You know what assuming will do. Makes an ass out of you and me. If you're in the United States, chances are you don't know much about King Henry VIII, unless you're a nerd like me and didn't have friends growing up. We don't need to get into it. So real quick, Thomas Cromwell was chief minister to King Henry VIII of England and famously oversaw the marriage and beheading of Anne Boleyn. You can read his Wikipedia. It tells you all you need to know. Now, if you can get past the roadblock of about 95% of the novel as dialogue with no clear delineation between the speakers, you most likely search on Reddit to find out the secret code. You have the basic understanding of Tudor history and life in the 16th century, and you wear a fedora and mansplain history in YouTube comments, you may get along with Wolf Hall. Okay, that was rude, but truly, if this book was a person, I doubt you would invite them to your dinner party. Now that I've got all of my hating out of the way, almost all, I can move on to why I think this novel may be my favorite, or maybe a favorite of many, not mine, maybe a favorite of many, and why you should at least give it a shot. I know that seems contradictory, but hear me out. Even though Mantel's writing style is infuriating to me, she does an amazing job of getting inside Thomas Cromwell's mind and seeing the world from his perspective. For example, I was extremely bored throughout reading this novel, but then again, life in Tudor England would have seemed mundane to the modern reader, apart from the occasional beheading, plague, famine. You get the gist. Cromwell becomes a human being throughout the mundanity, and therefore, as a reader, I was invested in him as a human, albeit reluctantly. Much to my dismay, Anne Boleyn in the novel is atrocious. While initially I felt like this was a bias or slight on behalf of Mantel, I now understand it to be a portrayal of Boleyn from the perspective of Thomas Cromwell, which, even though it kills me to say it, is smart. There are no written first-person accounts that would support the theory that Thomas Cromwell disliked Anne Boleyn or even brought about her death. Many sources are secondhand and state that Cromwell was just following the king's orders in orchestrating her beheading. However, as a literary device, this tension absolutely works, and I found myself looking forward to Anne Boleyn's final days. As a historical figure, I love her, but as Mantel's character, she sucks. On to the PBS adaptation of Wolf Hall. I mentioned earlier that the novel is beyond boring to me, so it came as no surprise that the PBS series chose to combine the first two books, Wolf Hall and Bring Up the Bodies, into the first season, which is why it may be more exciting to watch. Also, Mantel's novel consists mainly of dialogue, so adaptations make sense. The audiobook is amazing if you can handle a little bit of lip smacking. It is really amazing if you can handle it. My neighbor's driving me insane. It's okay. 1 month left. 1 month left. The actor in the PBS series, Mark Rylance, who plays Thomas Cromwell, isn't particularly attractive by conventional standards, but because I have daddy issues and love the veiny hands and graying sideburns, I was instantly Team Cromwell. Rylance does a great job of seeming both pious and terrifying at the same time, which I've never gotten from other portrayals of Cromwell. He usually seems like a weak weasel, sliding in between doors and conversations. In The Tudors, Thomas Cromwell was played by James Frayne, who, bless his heart, will always look like Mr. Bean to me. So, we're already winning with the adaptation of Wolf Hall. Damian Lewis is not my favorite King Henry VIII, but that's not his fault. He is true to Mantel's vision of King Henry VIII, and for that, I guess he hits the nail on the head. In the novel, he's kind of boring too, guys. I'm not even going to spend time talking about Claire Foy as Anne Boleyn. When will we ever get a good Anne Boleyn in cinema? Is it really that difficult? All in all, is Wolf Hall as a novel effective in immersing its audience into an underrated perspective? Yes. Is it particularly enjoyable? No. Will you miss out on a cultural phenomena by not reading the novel? No. If you're not a reader, just watch the PBS series. See, I can hate and admire at the same time. Go back to your hive, Wolf Hall fans. I get it. Don't worry. So that's what I got for you. Let me know what you think of Wolf Hall. If you're excited for the next part to come out, maybe it already has. I don't know. I haven't been really focused on anything besides my little rabbit hole. Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So I'll see y'all soon.